peace and conflict resolution. You know, they're able to think and begin to conceptualize a project that a club can carry out in the short run and in the long run. And so if we don't engage, these are some of the challenges and gaps that we encounter in our clubs. We are members with diverse interests and skills, and definitely if we do not engage up to the last Rotarian, we're missing an opportunity of service, and we're focusing on single projects in some clubs while we can actually carry out multiple projects, big and small. Low attendance is one of the indicators or outcomes of ineffective engagement, although of course I have since as a person moved away from measuring attendance as a very major indicator of engagement, because there are different ways in which Rotarians engage. Many are now involved in preparing for the cancer run, so if I don't turn up for a meeting or two, should I be penalized by my club for that I am serving? A lot have supported members who are ill. They have visited members' relatives who are not feeling well. They have participated in burials of members of relatives and so on and so forth. For me, I believe that we should broaden the concept of participation in Rotary so that we're able to harness everything that we do that contributes to vibrancy, effectiveness, and happiness of Rotarians. If we don't engage, then we also sustain a low club visibility, because then members are kind of closed into their club. They're not aware that it's important to visit other clubs and the benefits of that. They're not aware that when there are district activities, it is more or less an obligation to participate and contribute, and so on and so forth. So there are many more risks that clubs experience as a result of low engagement. So I want to quickly summarize by talking to the topic on membership engagement. Fellow Rotarians and Rotaractors, for me, I think the first impression is very important, and engagement begins there. It leaves a lasting impression to anybody walking into a door of Rotaract and Rotary. And so let's watch that very carefully. Many times it's either haphazard or it is very little attention is given to it. A lot of us think that engagement is about us, the Rotarians, Rotaractors already within Rotary. But it extends beyond Rotary, in my view. It speaks to all those that we would like to join us and those who have even put the first foot into our space. The other lesson that I've learned in my engagements is that personalized interaction is can be turned into a normal experience, and it is magical. Many times we hear, oh, it was posted in the club chat. How come she didn't see it? How come he didn't see it? These are the people who don't read our chats, and so on and so forth. Just imagine if I reached out to you as an individual with a message, even if you have read it before. How does that feel? That feels extremely well. You feel valued, you feel you're important, you feel you have an obligation to respond, you feel you have value to add. And so no matter how big or small our clubs are, let's promote personalized interaction, let's promote personalized reach in whichever way we can. If I had time, I would share with you some of the strategies we are trying as a big club. We've tried so many things, including the telephone tree, including the twinning arrangement, including having clusters of people with the same classification, and so on and so forth. We also have a presidential call to new members who want to join. That is a given in the Rotary Club of Sunday. No matter who is coming into the club, as president, I had to give that presidential welcome to that person. And that was a very good experience, and we sustained that from time to time. As leaders particularly, we need to look out for members that haven't spoken, haven't posted, haven't shown up, because unless we reach out to them, we're not aware of what is actually constraining them. And many times we live with assumptions of irresponsibility, they don't care, they're tired of Rotary, and so on and so forth. And yet we have surprises behind the door when we call them. Of course, the fun activities are obvious. They're memorable experiences. Let's invite everybody to come to the cancer run with us. Let's run as we talk about Rotary. Let's engage. Let's celebrate. Let's mobilize resources as we do that. But let's do that beyond cancer run. Let's do many more activities. Invite our family members to our meetings. Why not? We do that at the Rotary Club of Sunday. The babies come, the parents come, the aunties come, the uncles come, because it's a Sunday afternoon after all, and it's outside. There's lots of activities for all categories of family members. And so we should create those opportunities that enable us to make members feel they would like to be around us. The issue of feedback and acting on it has been overemphasized this month. Indeed, we need to do those health checks in our clubs, but also having routine opportunities for members to provide feedback. Because once they provide feedback, we must take action on those issues that they've raised. Otherwise, then members do not see the worth of us sharing what our concerns are. The other aspect that I think is very, very important is the value proposition, the services provided in terms of need. And I know that Jaja Muzungu is online, and he's shared so many times his experience with COVID and how much Rotarians comforted him, cared for him, treated him, and so on. And so those kinds of opportunities present, and we shouldn't take them for granted. That's the moment of truth where we get our members hooked into Rotary, because then they're lasting experiences and feelings of care. President, I want to end in the interest of time by answering the question, so what do we need to do? And I'm borrowing the 4 Ds from past District Governor Emmanuel Katongole. He uses this a lot. His 4 Ds are: 1, we must desire to engage. First of all, we must be intentional. We must be strategic. We must have something written down. We must keep it continuous and consistent. And it has to be quality engagement. Listening more is what we are learning at the Rotary Leadership Institute than speaking more. And so let's do that. Let's desire to engage. Let's desire to engage as Rotarians. I had so many pictures to share, but because of time, I could not project all of them. But the message here is the role for engagement is all our role. It starts with me. It starts with me, the Rotarian or the Rotaractor. It doesn't start with the president, doesn't start with the director membership. It doesn't start with anybody. It starts with you. And so rather than, I've been to clubs where some members, including past presidents, are telling the amazing presidents, make sure you bring in all the members that have left the club. I mean, excuse me, whose role is that? Is it the president alone? It's our role. It starts with me. It starts with you. We must have the drive. We must have the interest, the commitment, the dedication to do it continuously. Members never give up on a member. To me, it's more expensive to attract and get a new member on board than to keep a member of Rotaract or Rotary who has already joined. And that is for another day. But honestly, no Rotarian, no Rotaractor should step out of the door once they are in. We must be determined. A lot of times the human part of us, the human weakness sets in, and you feel like you've done your best. I'm tired, I've called the members, I've done everything, nobody's responding, and people are in Kamoli and so on. I mean, if we do not turn off the tap of members exiting, and Rotarians and Rotaractors exist in different ways. Some are physically present but absent. Others have completely physically become absent. We need to work hard and get all those back into Rotary, into Rotaract, including those who have not been able to pay their club dues. Let's not lose them. We have to continue engaging and involving them, because they are an asset and a resource to Rotary already. They've been trained, they've integrated, they're part of our family, so we must be determined to get everybody back. And then, of course, discipline is a very important D, and I wouldn't speak to it much more than any one of you. The discipline of respect, of dignity, of being considerate, of empathy, and so on as we engage. A lot of times the messaging is actually repulsive. Sometimes it's about dues, and somebody is saying, but why haven't you paid your dues? And somebody does not have food at home, or they have a sick child in the hospital. You know, that's very insensitive. So let's be very disciplined and very cautious, very sensitive how we engage, so that we attract more than repel. I thank you, Mr. President, and apologies, I've taken longer than I should have. Thank you.
Thank you for that befitting prose. Well, you've really touched on some of those key aspects that we need to see implemented within Rotary, starting with Daybreak. I've picked up a number of valuable insights. The idea of engaging members through training, I like that, you know, the buddy concept, and the fact that we have more performance parameters for buddy groups, you know, by ensuring that various buddy groups are actually responsible for growing their membership, together, of course, with the support of the rest of us. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon our Geno Henry, to lead us through the interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Those of you online, if you put up your hand, I'll be able to see it. Those of you in the room, if you put up your hand, I will ignore you. And just pick anyone. We have a question from Sam, who is here in the room.
Thank you, General. Thank you, President, and thank you, Twin. My question is as simple as, when do you accept that we've been putting this patient on incubator for long and we just need to switch it off because we are spending heavy, the patient is not likely to heal? At what stage do you allow that, much as you're looking at growth and retention, you have to let go of a seed that has failed to germinate and probably buy more seeds and grow more fruits?
Okay, I'll translate that one for you. Jane Kabugo, you're online. Jane, if you can unmute and ask your question.
Thank you, General Henry, and a big thank you to my sister Kate for that wonderful and fantastic presentation. It's been great. My question, or it could be perceived as a comment, is in Rotary we have a challenge of running for 1 year or operating for 1 year. And when it comes to recognition, it's always a challenge because you mobilize people, for example, to give major gifts. And major gifts are usually big, like $10,000. And they contribute $10,000, say, to the Rotary Foundation. And they are recognized during that year. But the following year, these same people cannot give 10,000. But maybe they could give 1,000, 2,000. How do we keep recognizing these people? Because it was a big give, or if I can call it that. But we usually forget about them, and now we are only seeing the ones who have given the 10,000 this year, or the 20,000 of whatever the amount is. So in terms of recognition and sustaining that interest, how can we actually keep recognizing these people, even though they gave this money last Rotary year?
There's somebody who put up 040. I don't know who. You can ask a question. Your hand is up. You have a few seconds, or we cancel.
Hello. Good morning, President. Thank you so much. I'm Joyce Magala. I want IPP Kate to share some more insights into the big numbers, because in Rotary we are talking about growth, and I know there are over 130 in Sunday. My question is, how do you make sure that everyone is engaged, of those 130 members, but also making sure that actually they are effective and really engaged? because I realized that my club was at 40 for a very long time. Now we are at 70, but I'm starting to lose sight of some of the members. So it's really how to effectively manage the numbers, because we end up redistricting when we realize that we've reached a certain number. So how does that really work in reality? Thank you.
Thank you. I will take the last question. Is from David. Please, brief time to be. And then I'll take. This is the very last one from the President Bulova. So, David Semakula, quickly and briefly.
Yeah. Thank you, Genome. I was impressed by the promotion of engagement through the personal touch. There are so many times where somebody, for example, somebody could lose somebody, and then, of course, on the live chat, they say somebody has lost someone. Then you see a lot of rest in peace just on the chat. Let us go beyond that. Many people don't. Going beyond that and going into inbox or even a personal call, it makes a lot of difference. Sometimes we just concentrate, may he so rest. Sometimes even we misspell it because we do it very fast so that you can go on other things. That one, remember, is just another statistic. Especially at body group level, at leadership level, let us go beyond. And even at personal level, as a person, go into the inbox and check on the person, just a call or even inbox on WhatsApp so that he knows that you know he exists. It is a very good way of keeping members engaged, but it starts with you. How many people have you gone into their box so that you expect somebody to come to your inbox? Thank you very much, General.
Thank you. And the very last question, President, I'm really sorry.
Thank you, General. This is a personal confession that one time we had submitting in relation to participation. The district attendance officer, and we used to be encouraged to ensure that we count the number of time and hours the person spends on Rotary work. And I think that has been now been left out. How do we bring it up? Because there are people who have time, commit their time, which cannot be monetized as we used to be. Is that attendance chair still there? Is that message still on? How do we make it view and make it accepted by members that if someone can be a PHF by mere participation, computing his time and the rest? Thank you very much.
Thank you, President. Do apologies on the time. Kate, you have like a minute to respond.
Henry, thank you very much, and thank you all for these very important questions. I'll begin with the comment from AG David Semakula. Thank you so much for re-emphasizing the importance of the personal touch in Rotary. And I just want to add to us, the leaders, the amazing presidents, the amazing leaders, let's learn our members by name, by what they do, by where they live, by what they like, by what drink they prefer, and so on and so forth. This is magical. I had to learn the names of the members of the Rotary Club of Sunday, and to me that was a great achievement, that even now I can put a name to a face of those 100+ members. There's nothing so empowering like feeling that your leader knows you, your members know you by name. So let's not just people that we can. The question, participation from amazing President, the Rotary Club of Bulova. Thank you so much. I know that the Council of Legislation has removed the requirement for attendance in terms of a percentage, but clubs have chosen to carry, some clubs have chosen to carry this forward, because we still see announcements of how many members attended, what percentage of body group members, and so on and so forth, because it's working for them. The beauty about Rotary is clubs are actually at liberty to choose what works for them. And so, whereas this is now not a mandatory requirement, we still have to adapt that and make sure that we find a way of calculating the volunteer hours. I think that one is still very, very important for us to assess the Rotarians who are giving in a lot of time for different things. And let's be inclusive as we do that. Not just what is labeled Rotary is Rotary. Everything that we do as Rotarians is actually Rotary work, including what we do at work, because we are serving. So we need to acknowledge all that. And for us at the Rotary Club of Sunday, whenever we see a newspaper advert, when one of our members has spoken, who has done something, who has made a contribution, it's a big deal for us. We actually archive it and we celebrate it. I'll end with a question on my mentor, but let me first get back to my twin, because I expected that question from you, CP Sam. When is the cutoff point? When do you say enough is enough? When do you give up? Fellow Rotarians and Rotaractors, in Rotary there is no giving up, isn't it? Because we'd like to transform the world and even make ourselves better. And so the harder it is, the more we go. The resilience is what defines us. And what we should learn is that, again, we do not have enough capacity in terms of time, in terms of skills, in terms of endowments, naturally, to engage. So when you get to a point, a tip of point, think strategically who the next best foot soldier to take over from you is. For example, pass it on to the president. Pass it on to the membership director. Pass it on to somebody who is either the sergeant or somebody who is very influential and very engaging, an opinion leader in the club, and so on and so forth. Look beyond your club. Sometimes we call the district governor, Dr. Mike Kennedy Sebalu, our new club advisor, to help us to engage. Send him the phone number and say, Governor, this person is delaying with the dues or is not attending now. We are feeling very uncomfortable. And he actually does those calls. And within another 1 hour, the same person is calling you. So call me, call MD Jane, call Rotarian Henry Rugamba, call anybody, call another Rotarian to help you. Sometimes a different voice makes the difference. Let's not think about our clubs as closed entities. We are one family, we are one district. So we need to support each other. We need to reach out to each other. Even when you are engaging members to join your club, if you feel that you need somebody else, call CP Sam, call me, call somebody else to engage, to help you to engage that person on Rotary and the benefits and so on. So CP Sam, we are not about to give up. We have to continue keeping everybody around the table. Finally, from my mentor, MD Jane Kabugo, thank you so much. Recognition is what we take away as our pay as Rotarians. I wish Henry could answer this question on my behalf, but I will try to say that, look, we need to create opportunities for recognition. When we went to Houston for the Rotary International Convention, I was very excited as a major donor to go to this very exclusive dinner for major donors. You know, with such great treatment, nice ambience, food was free, drinks were plenty, very, very accountability for what the money is doing. We keep getting this very personalized communication from RI. As a major donor, this is what's happening, this is what is going on, would you like to participate in this, and so on and so forth. So we need to get a think tank to see how we motivate everybody who gives to the Rotary Foundation, and see that this is continuous and people feel happy, feel motivated, feel different when they have done something amazing and significant like that. Thank you very much, moderator. I beg to stop here, and apologies if I've not exhaustively answered, but we are racing against time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, CP Kate, for those very detailed and elaborate responses. I'm inspired to ask whoever is interested to become a major donor. You may need to stay behind and have a word or two with CP Kate. I think it's quite interesting. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon none other than PE Dorothy Achan to give us a vote of thanks. Thank you. My apologies. We are out of time, so I kindly request that you give us a few 5 minutes. We shall be done. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to see you all this morning in good attendance, both physically and online. My role is small. I would like to say, CP Kate, you are really an icon. One, I admire you personally. In everything you do, you actually shattered in the biggest club, and I saw you win awards at this year. I'm really delighted to meet you, and we thank you for honoring our invitation to Daybreak, where you've presented this topic of Let's Talk About Women. I, for one, when I saw Let's Talk About Women, I was excited that this is a topic about women. So later on, when I read the details, it was something different. However, I've still enjoyed the discussion about membership, and I think all of us will agree that we are still lagging behind on membership, and we need to do more. CP Kate showed us that we need to do 50-50. In her big numbers, she still managed to balance the ladies against the gents. So I think one thing we need to note is as we recruit, can we try and balance the numbers? And then what I've learned also is personalized engagement. I think this is very important that we try to engage our members. Even those who have gone silent, we try to talk to them. Perhaps they are sick, perhaps they have had challenges. So personal engagement is very important to maintain our members. Then lastly, you spoke about the 4 Ds. This also took my attention. It really helps us to have some of this in mind. Keep your desire with your light, your candlelight burning, drive the Rotary agenda, determination to do what you're doing right now, discipline. All those caught my attention, and I believe everyone seated here and those online have appreciated this, and I would like to thank you once more for coming and honoring our invitation. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, P.E. Dorothy, for that befitting vote of thanks. Indeed, CP Kate, you are an inspiration to us. We look at you for inspiration to do great things. And today, it's really a wake-up call for us, especially when you start looking at some of our members that have gone dormant. Let me use that word. They haven't left, but they are dormant. So I like those tips that you shared. Before I ask Irene to give us the stats, I would like to particularly appreciate the visiting clubs that are physical today. I don't know, Irene, do you have them by name, some of our visiting clubs? Of course, Geno is here from the Rotary Club of Kampala, and I know that we have AP Ronald from Upper Kolo. Most welcome. And my colleague AP Robert Mazima from Mulova, Area 3, where we also belong. And I have AP Hajara from Mulago School of Nursing and Midwifery, Rotary. And I have okay, I'll leave this to Irene. I think she meant to say it. So, over to you, Irene. Thank you.
Thank you so much, amazing President. Good morning, fellow Rotarians, Rotaractors, and our guests. Mine is to take you through the statistics. This morning, we've had a great turn-up. We've had 168 participants online, 27 were present, summing up to 195. We had 44 visiting clubs. We had 5 Rotaract clubs. Allow me to go through the list of the visiting clubs, and these were Kampala Morning Stars, RC Sunday, Bwebaja, Sunrise Kampala, Buloba, Alibad, Kampala Central, Natete, Bweyogere Nambole, Muyenga, Kampala Maisha, Lake Victoria, Upper Kololo, Arua Eco City, Kampala Springs, Bweyogere Central, Kampala Impala, Ruaga Lakeview, Namasuba Munyonyo, Entebbe, Bukoto, Buziga, Kabale, Nakawa, Ntinda, Kampala Nsambya, Kampala Springs, Nakwero, Kajansi, Butabika, Woblenzi, RC Kansanga, Kira, Sese Island, Chiwatule, Mahaba, Nsambya, RC Kampala, and Lubowa. The Rotaract clubs were Mulago School of Nursing, Makindye, Kabalagala, Clark International University, and Bukoto. For those clubs that I've left out, kindly write out your clubs that will be picked up from the chat room. Thank you so much for fellowshipping with us. Over to you, amazing President.
Thank you, Irene, for the stats. Sam is always in a tendency of redefining things. Today has redefined hybrid. You start online and end up physical. That is his way of hybrid. You are most welcome, CP Sam. We are glad that you made it this morning. Thank you. I would like to call upon our own Rotarian Vincent Emi Mugabo. I think he's virtual. Please give us the final toast. Members, let's stand for the final toast.
Thank you, President. Let's be upstanding for the wonderful fellowship we have had on Let's Talk About Women. Let's toast Rotary International.
Rotary world over.
Rotary the world
World
over.
over.
Rotary the world over.
Rotary the world over.
Thank you. Thank you very much once again for fellowshipping with us this morning. As I invite you for breakfast, you can have it physical or you can have it virtual. Both options are available. Virtual, I contact Treasurer Esther, who is present. Physical, by joining us on the at the table. Who are here physically, I do have 6 t-shirts, Cancer Run t-shirts. These are all that I have left. You might be lucky and pick one this morning at 25,000 shillings. You can buy one for a friend. Even if you had one, you can get an extra one for a friend. Great. You have got 3 left out of the 6 that I had left. I have now 3 left. Please, you're welcome to join us.
Amazing President. Amazing President,
yes?
Give my tea to Henry because I have remained here for a long time. You have not said my name. You told me Opade Segwanga. Where is Segwanga?
My senior Henry Segwanga agenda jireta.
I'm going Take one. Rotaractor, Mulago School of Nursing. Sorry.
Thank you. You're welcome to breakfast. Rachel Ruboa,
They should present their coupons.
the Segwanga is coming.
They should present coupons, please, President. Good morning. Kindly present your coupons for breakfast.
I wanted to recognize the credentials, but I didn't have the details.
We changed and there wasn't, that's why when you one time you sent a note.
Very nice. Very nice. You're not on your breakfast. I was rushing out. I was rushing out. Maybe I just picked something.
Henry, thank you, General. Do you have lunch? Do you have lunch? They are all the same.
Thank you.